Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. In this video I'm going to take a look at a fragrance that's starting to pick up some interest in the community, that comes from a brand that also starting to pick up some interest and some hype. The brand itself is called Hamidi and the fragrance is from their Addicted line and it's called Imperial. If you enjoy my videos guys, I would really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. Okay, let me start by showing you the packaging of this fragrance. The Hamidi Addicted Imperial comes in this white colored box with some golden accents on the front. You got the name of the fragrance, the bottle size 120 milliliters, which is interesting in this case, and the concentration, which in this case is parfum concentration. On the back, some additional information, a sticker of authenticity and production date on the bottom, which is October of 2022. And then this is how the bottle looks. It has this sort of a really squarish type of design. The cap is metal. The whole bottle feels sort of a very high quality. Before I talk about the note, the scent profile of Hamidi Imperial, just wanted to mention something interesting. The parent company of Hamidi is Sterling Parfums, which of course is also the parent company of Armaf. Now keep that in mind because I'll talk about this a little bit later in the video. So I'll show you the spray in action and then I'll tell you about the scent profile and the note breakdown of this fragrance. So the note breakdown that I was able to find online has the following notes. The top notes are bergamot, sea notes, aquatic notes, and red fruits. The middle notes are sandalwood and violet. And the base notes are vetiver, ambroxan, and musk. Now, in the opening of this fragrance is dominated by a mix of between the salty aquatic notes and a melon note, which is not listed in the note breakdown of this fragrance, but it's definitely there and it's very prominent in the opening. Somewhere on the background, I also pick up a bit of a sweetness from the red fruits, but the opening is sort of a salty melon opening. Once this starts to dry down, the sharpness from that salty melon mix starts to fade away a little bit. The red fruits become a little bit more prominent. The fragrance becomes a little bit sweeter. You definitely pick up the ambroxan on the dry down of this fragrance. There's a bit of a sharpness on the dry down as well from the violet note. And this is quite musky also on the dry down. Now, if this sounds familiar to you, then you probably at this point know that what this fragrance is actually trying to be, and this is a clone of Millesime Imperial by Creed. The performance of Hamidi Imperial, as I said in the beginning of this video, this fragrance comes in a parfum concentration, which means that this is the highest possible concentration that you can get with a fragrance. And knowing that, I was expecting this fragrance to be a very, very strong performer, but unfortunately, it's not as strong as I expected. Now, this is not a weak fragrance for sure, but it doesn't last as long as I expected it to last. I get about 8 hours of performance out of this fragrance. I've had it for a month now, and pretty much every time I wear this, I get about 8 hours of performance. The projection is also not super strong. This is more on the moderate side and projects for about an hour and a half. There's something interesting apart from the fact that this is a parfum concentration, and this is the fact that this fragrance actually contains no alcohol. So part of the reason why this does not project very strongly, I think, is because of the fact that it lacks alcohol, which usually helps with the projection of a fragrance. When we talk about the price, I paid about the equivalent of about $35 in order to acquire the Hamidi Imperial, which I think is a fair price given the fact that this is a highly concentrated fragrance and it also comes in a 120 milliliter bottle size. When we talk about versatility, this is not a super versatile fragrance because the scent profile is very much orientated towards warm weather, late spring, throughout the summer and early fall. So it's basically the best usage scenario for this fragrance is the warm months of the year. One thing that helps with the versatility is the fact that I think this is a perfectly unisex fragrance and can be worn by both women and men without any problem. And on to my final thoughts about Hamidi Imperial. Now, this turned out to be a very interesting fragrance for a few reasons. Now, as I said, the parent company of Hamidi is Sterling, which is also the parent company of Armaf. Now, our mouth have a fragrance that's a clone of Millésime Imperial, and this is sort of like a sister to that fragrance. Now they differ a little bit, and I'll probably do a video where I compare those two fragrances. But the things that are interesting about Hamidi Imperial are the fact that first of all you get a 120 milliliter bottle size, which is a bit of an unusual bottle size in the fragrance world. You also get a fragrance that comes in parfum concentration, which is of course the highest possible concentration that you can get, and this thing is alcohol free. It doesn't contain any alcohol, which also makes it really interesting and unique. Now I had a little bit higher expectations about this fragrance, especially when it comes to performance, because of the higher concentration of parfumol in this fragrance, but it turned out to be not the beast mode fragrance that I expected. It's still a good performing fragrance, but not the beast mode. Also, the projection is not very good, but I think that's down to the fact that this does not contain any alcohol. So all in all, if you're looking for an interesting alternative to Millésime Imperial from Crete, that's very cheap, about $35–40. You get 120 milliliters of fragrance for that price. Then definitely check out Hamidi Imperial. For the people who already own Club de Nuit Milestone, I think Hamidi Imperial feels kind of redundant because they're very close to each other. But all in all, as I said, this is an interesting alternative to Millésime Imperial by Crete. So guys, in today's video I showed you the Hamidi Imperial, a very interesting alternative to Crete's Millésime Imperial. I hope that you found this video interesting or informative. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye bye.